What's up, Flobo? What's going on? Episode number 43. How are you living? How are you maintaining? How are you surviving? How are you getting through the day? It's a question I always ask someone when I meet them, but it has a different connotation altogether. I know what's going on. You know what's going on. We won't get to that quite yet. But I just want to say that I just got back from Florida yesterday, able to appear at Flagler College, my alma mater, to perform comedy and do a workshop for the kids. And I told you guys I don't know how I'm going to do the show on the road, and I don't know what the logistical thing is, and then I just didn't do it. I I brought my laptop and my little home system setup, like, because I was going to do that. And then one day, my first hotel wasn't that great. Second day, I was out all night, stressing out about the show. The next two nights, I had some friends over, and I was worried about that. So I never got a full hour or even half an hour to prep and to do the show. So it never happened. So that just tells you. We're going to post some pictures online on Instagram in the next couple of days or so. In fact, there's a picture there now where I was leaving Florida having my flamingo shirt on. Check it out on Instagram.com @pizza. I just want to talk to you about the experience. So this Com Week thing was 15 years in the making. Communication students, past and present, get together and talk about communication as a whole. I was always kind of jealous. I never got a chance to speak until this year, and they wanted me to come in and do some comedy. And cool, man. But then I kind of upsold it, and I said, how about offering a workshop as well? A lot of people are asking me, how was the show? Here's a short answer. The show was great. It was in a venue that was essentially, imagine like three small restaurants inside of a restaurant, but instead of three small dinner theaters, but instead of the dinner show being a stage, it was like a movie screen, right? So there's a stage for live performances and a movie screen because it's like a local community theater, but it's like different rooms. So it's kind of like, has an intimate atmosphere, but it wasn't a traditional comedy club. But I think it was cool enough to give everyone that experience, dimming the lights and having a bit of interaction with the crowd. I emceed it. I did school-specific material, so it was pretty much fun. So that's okay. But what the cool part about the whole night is before that, being able to do a little 2-hour workshop for people who hadn't touched comedy at all, and do learning comedy in 2 hours is damn near impossible. So I wasn't expecting the world. I told them, the kids, straight up, hey, look, it took me 6 weeks to go from my first comedy lesson to my first time on stage. So I'm just going to tell you some things that I know. And I had a little lecture sheet, and I sat down, and I was like, all right, the structure's of a joke. And all the kids were like, I got fine. We're throwing that out. So I gave them out the copies of the lecture, and I said, okay, we're just going to do comedy drills, the drills I do to work on material, to fine-tune my material. And we did a couple of those. We introduced ourselves in an icebreaker way. We had an interview period where we learned about each other and what their backgrounds were. And I gave them a little 20-minute writing period. Here's the cool part. The cool part was having people rush to write 20 minutes, write some material in 20 minutes. And they performed it, and we watched it, and we gave notes and critique. And seeing the ones that elected to do the show later that night, having seen my notes go into action and actually ends up being a better response, was pretty cool. Like, I'm not saying I'm the best comic. I'm not saying these jokes were terrible if it wasn't for my help. I mean, a lot of these jokes were great. All I was just doing was tweaking for them, because I didn't want them to feel that you have to do jokes in my style. But to see someone write something, go on stage, perform it, take notes, rewrite that, and perform the same night, I mean, it was really, really cool. And I was telling people that perhaps I have acquired the teaching bug. Not sure if I'm going to do it for a career yet, but it was kind of cool to teach and see people work on a craft so truncated, and such an experience for that as well. Yeah, so we also had alums at the comedy show. They were not part of the workshop, but they came and they made everything a bit more enhanced from top to bottom. So it was me emceeing, do material, some new people, and our two co-headliners, our co-features, and I dropped the mic and I said goodnight. And it was cool to be a tourist in St. Augustine, Florida. If you guys ever been to St. Augustine, it's the oldest city in America. It's a giant tourist park, and perhaps in hindsight, wasn't the most fruitful endeavor to visit this weekend. Indeed, our show was the last show at the college. They, in fact, shut down the campus amid the outbreak at 5 p.m. and my workshop was at 5 to 7. The show at 7:30 to 9. So basically, my show was the last show ever at the college during this now shutdown period. But the town itself is really cool and quaint. I don't quite have like the magical connection I did to it when I was 18 and seeing the world for the first time. It's kind of like, okay, I see the seams. I see it's a bit of a tourist trap and all that, but the town is amazing. So imagine like flying out to this like way back throwback era of history to perform at a school that really helped you cut your teeth in communication. Because I was a finance student in high school, communications is really the first thing I tried when I got to Flagler. So it was cool to give that back, and I hope there's more comedy weeks. And I'm glad I was able to go out and get back in a safe manner with the outbreak and all that. I'm not going to spend too much time on that because I know the whole world is talking about it, and I'm just tired. Lord, am I tired of the jokes on social media? Like, there's many times I think about quitting comedy, and I'll see so many memes and so many dad jokes, and I just go, yo, the world needs people like me. I can't let this pass off as humor. Like, you know how many fake drug deals I've seen with someone trying to get toilet paper this weekend? I just not the point. I wanted to say is I was able to get back safely despite what's happening out there. And unfortunately, though, I had to pull the plug on Alaska, so I will not be going to the Before You Die Comedy Festival, which I'm bummed out about because I always wanted to visit Alaska and be able to practice comedy in a new state. Is always an ongoing resolution I have as a comedian, but just now is focusing on safety. The store across the street from my house is pretty much doing a 2-item limit on things. You can't order most things from online because restaurants and bars are closed. Some takeouts available still, and I'm just hunkering down. But I promised I wasn't going to make this a whatever video about that. I just wanted you to know that Florida was great. I got a lot of more merchandise from the school because I have a lot more pride in that school now that I went to grad school. I saw how impersonal school could be. So I bought all the shirts. They were one of the few places in town that had sanitizer. So I bought overpriced, marked up, school branded hand sanitizer. So it's all good. It's all great. I'm going to be here probably writing more stuff this week and probably working at AfterBuzz remotely. If you guys know, if you guys are here from the AfterBuzz side of things, all the shows are being done via Zoom or Hangout or Skype. So I'll be here for Kirby Enthusiasm later today and Monday Night Raw later today as well if you're watching this live on Monday. But yes, until next time, you know the deal. Make sure you ration your food. Make sure you keep clean. Make sure you call your family. Tell them how much you love them. As for me, Florida was great. I'm re-inspired. I'm going to write some more stuff. The comedy train of Flopito rolls on. And until next time, peace out.